Cowboys forced into impossible decisions. So the roster cuts had been made by 4 p.m. Eastern today, August 26th, and we finally have our official look at the roster for the 2025 Dallas Cowboys. Welcome back. Welcome back to Cowboys Digest. My name is Tyree, Allison. We appreciate you checking in. As always, really quick, before we get started, as always, 86% of you watching are not subscribed. So please hit that subscribe button. It is 100% free. And as always, this is your number one source for everything Dallas Cowboys news, updates, information. We're bringing it here to you first. Now, before we get into the roster, let's get into a little bit of news on the Cowboys that we've been seeing over the past, between today and tomorrow. Good news, offensive tackle Tyler Guyton is back at practice. If you don't know, about a month or so ago, he went down, was really scared. They thought it was an ACL. Turned out to be a bone bruise. Yes, great to see him back out there, and it's looking like he's gonna play week 1. So let's keep the positive juju going for Mr. Tyler Guyton as well. Now, this was a tweet as of yesterday. A couple of guys were released: La'el Collins, offensive guard Nick Booker, defensive tackle Denzel Daxton, a wide receiver Josh Kelly, tight end Tyler Neville, and cornerback Troy Pride, as well as tight end John Stevens Jr. and cornerback Christian Matthew. Now, all these guys, they played okay during the preseason, but honestly, the most shocking of this is La'el Collins. I thought La'el Collins was actually being bought back in to be somewhat of a cement piece for the offensive line this year, but I think maybe the step is just going. Maybe he's just not blocking the same. We bought him in a couple times now, and it hasn't worked. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you think La'el Collins should have still been a part of this team and a part of the O-line. Going a little bit further here, let me switch this up. So Cowboys cornerback Trevon Diggs, he had this to say in a quote. He says, "Physically, I don't have any limitations. It's really just ramping up the conditioning part, getting back to football speed, getting back in the game speed. That's pretty much it." Listen, let me tell you something. For Trevon Diggs, that's huge. I'm glad that he's potentially going to be back week 1. I'm glad that he did make the roster. It goes, and it's a testament to show that a lot of the work that he did in the offseason and getting a $500,000 fine for not doing majority of his workouts at the facility, but doing it in Florida where his brother did it, where you saw his brother come back from a very similar injury in a very close time span. I'm not mad at it, Let me know in the comments. I think they should give that man his money back because he definitely worked his tail off to get back. So it was great news from Trevon Diggs. We're going to have him potentially week 1 ready to go. Cowboys have waived running back Deuce Vaughn. Let me give you a minute. I know there's some Deuce Vaughn fans out there. Me personally, sorry, I'm an honest Cowboys fan. I think it was a waste of a pick when we first did it, and I think it's been a waste of a roster spot since he's been there. It's about time that this has happened. Bro, he looks like a kid out there with the coach. But anyway, let's get into the roster, official roster. So, of course, starting at quarterback, I'm going to be reading from my phone. We got Dak Prescott and Joe Milton. Will Greer is not. Will Greer is not. Of course, we're not going with 3 quarterbacks. That's good news because we needed roster space. Now, 5 running backs. Well, of course, 1 fullback and 4 running backs. This is a little heavy. This is a little heavy for a line that we're not necessarily sure if they're going to be a line that's going to be pushing like that. And honestly, I believe they will. But this is a huge running back room. But I'm not upset at it. I'm not going to lie. I would have thought that Miles Sanders was going to get cut and Deuce Vaughn. I thought both of them were going to give us some more guys on the defensive side. But we got Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, Phil Maffa, and Hunter Luki. Now, the wide receiver room, now this was a little, I don't want to say controversial, but when Treshaun Holden, when it was announced that he wasn't, that he was cut and he wasn't making the team, Cowboys Nation, you guys did speak out on Twitter. We're going to learn. We're going to learn, as we always do, and as a fan base, if this cut ends up hurting the Cowboys. It's going to be interesting. I mean, he showed a lot of splash plays. I think kind of what it comes down to is when you look at the other guys like Florian and Tolbert specifically, like those are guys that have been there longer, a lot more familiar with the playbook all the way around. And it's a safer pick. I think, that he has some good splash plays, but how much can you contribute in understanding, the full ins and outs of the playbook and what Dak is going to need you to do when you're out there on the field? So overall, I'm not mad at our wide receiver room. Jalen Tolbert, Pickens, Kavontae Turpin, Ryan Florian, and of course, Mr. CeeDee Lamb. Now, the tight end room. The tight end room is honestly exactly what we expect. It is Luke Schoonmaker, Jake Ferguson, and Brevin Spanford. I'm excited. I'm excited to see Spanford more than anybody. I think he's going to be I think he's going to be one of those dominant types of tight ends that we bring in a lot more. Well, not only just, the run game, but a lot in the RPO as well to kind of throw them off, to make them think we're running again. I think it's just going to work perfectly if we kind of do that switch up that, the Shanahans, the Kyle Shanahans and the Harbaughs kind of do with their offenses. Now going a little bit further here, let's take a look at the offensive line. So Tyler Booker, of course, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Guyton, TJ Bass, Brock Hoffman, Johnny Cornelius. I'll pause there. Y'all know I've been talking about Johnny Cornelius since we got him. I'm really happy he made the roster. I feel like he's going to be a great right tackle for Dak when the time comes and when his number's called. After Johnny, we got Nate Thomas, Tyler Smith, of course, and then Terrence Steele. I'm not mad at this O-line. I think this was the Cowboys back office, the coaching staff. They got strategic. They got really strategic in order to etch out this O-line and these be the guys. I trust this O-line. I trust this O-line for sure. Let's get into our defensive ends and defensive tackles. Of course, Micah Parsons, Dante Fowler, Donovan Ezeraku, James Houston, and Sam Williams. Listen, it goes without saying, we got speed. This is nothing but speed, finesse. Then when you get to Mozzie Smith, Solomon Thomas, Jay Toya, thank you. Thank you, Cowboys. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. I was saying it. I think he's going to be, and I'm going to be aggressive. I think he's going to be our Vita Vea-esque type of defensive tackle in the middle. I think Jay Toya, even though he's a rookie, he's gigantic, and he's gonna. I think he gets more push than Mozzie, and he doesn't get pushed back like Mozzie. I'm honestly kind of shocked that Mozzie did make this. I think Jerry Jones has something to do with that. He's probably not ready to cut ties with his first round pick yet, or maybe come to the understanding or the acceptance that he's not the guy. And of course, so it goes Jay Toya, Marshawn Nealon, Oso Digizua, and Perion Winfrey, who we did want to see. I personally wanted to see Perion Winfrey make this roster in its totality. As defensive ends and defensive tackles go, I think this is a strong lineup, and a lineup that's going to get after the quarterback. No two ways about it. This D-line is going to get after the quarterback. It's are they going to stop the run? That's always the question, and we're going to find that out week 1 in less than 2 weeks when we see Saquon Barkley and the Eagles in that offensive line. Now, looking at our linebackers, we got Damone Clark, Marsdale, you know how I am with last names, Shamir James, Jack Sanborn, and Keith Murray. This was the expected linebacker room. We expected these 5 guys, and of course, when DeMarvion Overshown is back, they're going to check one of those guys out. Not sure who. Honestly, maybe they mess around and move off of Mozzie Smith. That way we can keep all these linebackers in and then add Overshown, because I think that's kind of more the move to make. Now, going into the backfield. I actually realized I was saying that, and I didn't change the screen. My bad. So going into the backfield is Wanye Thomas, Donovan Wilson, Trevon Diggs, Marquise Bell, Kyer Elam. I did a little bit on Kyer Elam too. I'm happy he made the team. Kalen Carson, happy for him. Andrew Booth, he's still here. Let me know in the comments, Cowboys Nation. I don't think Andrew Booth is an NFL DB, but here he is on the roster again. Deron Bland, Malik Hooker, and Zion Childress. Zion Childress, Kyer Elam, those guys are going to be guys that make names for themselves. Very, very. I believe so. Like week one. Let Zion Childress in the game just a couple reps and let him pick off Jalen or something like that, or Elam. Like it's gonna ignite Cowboys Nation when we see these young guys, kind of take that leap forward in the backfield. And of course, on the special teams, punter, kicker, and long snapper, we got Brian Anger, Brandon Aubrey, of course, and Trent Sage. Now, that's our team, guys. That's our 53-man roster. Brian Schottenheimer, Coach Schotty, has come in, and this is what he's created for us. This is the team he's put together. I'm not mad at it. Let's take a quick look, though, at some of the guys that were released. So we did lose Hakeem Ajendi. We lost Ernest Brown, Shaquille Charles. We lost a couple tackles, couple defensive guys. CJ Goodwin, that one kind of surprised me a little bit. I wasn't sure if he was going to stay on the team or not. A lot of these other guys I didn't expect. Israel Makwamu, I can't necessarily say his name all the way. Hi with that. That one shocked me a little bit too. Overall, let me know in the comments, taking a look at these guys that were released. What do you think? Who did you want to stay? And who exactly, Who are you not mad? You're not mad that they're leaving. Go a little bit further. This was the waived right here. Some defensive tackles, some linebackers. Jalen Brooks and Jalen Cooper, both in there, just like Treshawn Holden. It was going to be really hard for any one of them to make this roster over the guys that were already there. And Florian, who they've been developing since they drafted. Tolbert, who they've been developing since they drafted. It was just kind of expected. Deuce Vaughn, again, I told you, I meant it when I said it. He had to go. Deuce Vaughn was a waste of he just kind of was. He was kind of wasted. Johnny Clark, safety, he was okay. Overall, when I look at these cuts, these are the type of guys that will be in the game and will make the same mistake that whoever number 24 was when we played the Bengals last season. And we almost had the game and we got a punt. And one of the Cowboys came up and tried to field the punt when they should have just let it bounce. It was already a shank punt. And he touched it, didn't field it. It ended up a live ball. Bengals took it, won the game. It was almost quintessentially the game that took us out of even being in the running because the Cowboys, as terrible as we were last season, were making a run. So sorry to get sidetracked on that. A little bit further, this is our traded, injured reserve, injured PUP, and injured no fly. So we got Siobhan Rebel. He'll be back. I love that they're taking their time with Rebel over Schoen, Josh Butler, Peyton Turner, Jonathan Mingo. Those 5 guys right there are those are the key 5 pieces that I think, again, when we're at 100% capacity, is going to show. And it's going to show effortlessly. But overall, in its totality, let me know, Cowboys Nation. Let me know what you think. This, we finally got it. We finally got our 53-man roster. I'll be responding in the comments. I want to know what you guys think of the whole roster in its totality, who you wanted to stay, who you're glad is going, and anybody that you're looking to see, the Cowboys pick up maybe between now and, before the start of the season. And, of course, Jerry, get this man signed. Sign Micah Parsons down there in the comments as well because we're tired of waiting. The hoax is over. There's only been so many videos we can make about how he's taking all day and we know what's going to happen. Come on, Jerry. Sign that man. But this has been Cowboys Digest. My name is Tyree, Allison. We appreciate you checking in, as always, and we'll see you next time.